everyone. I'm Chef Susie with Escoffier Online. Welcome to the show tonight. Since we're finished with all of our assessments in the course, I thought it would be fun to make one of Escoffier's classic desserts tonight. So I'm going to be making the Bombe Ceylan, which is a wonderful dessert by Escoffier. It's a classic bombe. The bombe has French heritage, and this bombe in particular is made with coffee ice cream and rum mousse. And that's what the bombe is made of. It's made of ice cream and mousse. The center is hollowed out, and it's filled with mousse. In Escoffier's book, Le Guide Culinaire, there's over 60 bombe recipes in this book. So if you have a chance, check it out. I think that Escoffier is definitely the father of bombes. And there's just so many different kinds in here. There's a bombe Chateaubriand with a chestnut ice cream and a rum mousse, which sounds wonderful. And there's also a bombe Georgette with praline ice cream filled with a kirsch flavored mousse, which is cherry liqueur. Very traditional. It has a lot of German heritage in the kirsch. So you'll find so many things that you like. There's a bombe Batavia, which really sounds wonderful. It's a pineapple ice cream filled with a strawberry bombe mixture. And you can even create your own bombes. Why not? You have everything that it takes to be creative and create your own desserts. You can have maybe bombe Didi with strawberry ice cream and an avocado mousse on the inside, or maybe a bombe Lynn with chocolate ice cream with the cayenne pepper mousse on the inside. So be creative and make your own bombe. You'll be sure to dazzle your guest if you have a bombe for dessert, and you'll definitely revamp your dessert menu by putting a bombe on it. So knowing a little bit about bombes, let's get started. I have my sanitizing solution for my good sanitation practices, my spray bottle with my rag, cleaned up my table beforehand, and I'm going to clean it when I'm finished. So we're going to go ahead and put this under the table, and we're going to get started with our bombe mixture. This is very simple. This is just egg whites and a simple syrup. You've made the simple syrup before. And we're just going to whisk these together, and then we're going to be putting this on the double boiler on the stove, and we're going to cook it until it's at about a ribbon stage. We're going to bring it back to the table and cool it off, and then we'll be folding in the cream and the rum, and this is going to be the mousse center for the Bombe Ceylan. So as soon as I have this whisked together good, then we're going to take it over to the stove and get started. And does anyone have any questions so far? And the bombes are really, they're just so attractive, and they have such a very, they just have a really beautiful and impressive appearance. We're going to be making just a classic individual bombe dessert, but you can also make it in a small bowl, and then you can cut slices. It's spherical in form, which is like a half bowl, and that's the classic shape. It resembles the cannonball. So now that we have our egg yolks and our simple syrup whisked together, we're going to go over to the stove and cook this to a ribbony stage. I have my water boiling, ready to go. And I'm not going to have it on a real strong boil, so I'm just going to turn it down. And this way I can keep up with this yolk mixture, because you don't want to overcook it and actually curdle the eggs. And if you feel like it's getting away from you and it's all going too fast, just go ahead and pull your bowl off the water, and that'll slow things down, and you can get caught up with your mixing, and then you can just put it back on and continue. So the bombe actually showed up on menus in 1882. That's how long it's been around, and it's recently been making a comeback. And like I mentioned, it's got French heritage, but it's also showing up recently in restaurants of all kinds. For example, Latin restaurants down in Miami, you're seeing bombe on their menus now too. So try to make your bombe dessert and you won't be disappointed. So it's going to take a little bit to get these eggs to the ribbony stage because there's some simple syrup in here. And the simple syrup makes this sweeter, and it actually helps with the freezing too because there's a little bit of water in it, and we all know how well water freezes. The egg yolks contain a lot of fat, which has a very low freezing temperature. So the water is actually going to help out by kind of thinning the egg yolks down, and it's going to help this mixture freeze too. And this is going to go in the center of the mold as a mousse. And I've lined some molds earlier with some coffee ice cream, and I'll be pulling them out in a little bit. And does anyone have any questions? So the eggs are getting a little bit thicker. I can see they're coming together. There's less liquid. They're starting to cook. And this is just about ready to come off. It's getting a little thick and ribbony. It's holding its shape. You can see that the liquid has appeared to be gone in the bottom. That means the eggs are cooking nicely. It's got a nice shine to it. There's the sugar in the mix, and that means it's going to have a nice sweet flavor to it. So this is cooked to the perfect consistency, so we're going to take it off the heat and bring it over to the table. Since we're going to be folding some whipped cream in this, we're going to have to cool it down. Otherwise, it's going to break the cream and break the cream down. So if you're making a small batch like this at home and you have some time, you can just leave it on the counter to cool off or even put it in your refrigerator. But since we need it to cool for the show, we're going to go ahead and put it on an ice bath. I just have a bowl filled with some ice. And we're just going to cool it down like this. So this is going to be the mousse center for the bombe. We're going to flavor it with a little bit of rum flavor, a little bit of, actually this is rum. This is a little bit of Myers dark rum. I like this rum a lot. It's nice and dark in color, and it has a great flavor to it. The question is there more water in the egg whites rather than the yolks? The egg whites don't have the fat content in them like the yolks do, and they are a little bit looser, and there is more liquid in them. But remember, for this recipe, we're only using the yolks. So we're going to leave this cool down, and then we'll be folding in our whipped cream, and then this is going to be our center mousse flavoring for our Bombe Ceylan. And I think that you're going to have a lot of fun once you try to make bombes. You can make your own ice cream. I made some coffee ice cream earlier, or you can even buy some ice cream and just make your mousse filling, whatever you like. When bombes were first introduced back in Escaffier's day, the mixtures were just a simple ice mixture, and now they're a little bit finer, and everyone's using ice creams and homemade ice creams too. So they've evolved a little bit and refined like a lot of other things, but it's still the Escaffier classic method. And definitely check out his book with the 60 different flavors of bombes. You're going to find that really neat. So our mix is getting cooled off. And does anyone have any questions? Okay, and now it's cool enough where I can add the cream. I'm going to take this off the ice bath. And I've whipped up some whipped cream earlier. We've done this a few times in the course, and I'm just folding it in. And I didn't whip it very stiff. I whipped it to kind of a soft peak, and this way it's going to fold in a lot easier. And for the bombe filling, the mousse, you can use any mousse that you like. If you have a favorite mousse and you'd like to create your own bombe, that'll work too. So I'm just kind of gently folding this in.
Somebody asked, so bombes is a mousse-based dessert or an ingredient to ice cream?
The question is the bombe a mousse-based dessert? The bombe is an ice cream dessert. It's an ice cream lined sphere, and it's filled with mousse. So it's a mousse and ice cream dessert. Okay, now that we have our rum-flavored mousse ready for our Bombe Ceylan, I'm going to pull the ice cream out of the freezer. And once you see it, you'll be able to kind of put 2 and 2 together, and you'll know what I'm talking about with the bombe. So let me run back to the freezer, and I'll be right back. It just needs a minute because it's sucking the air out. Okay. Okay, I have some bombe molds that I made earlier. And this is just an individual sphere mold. And I filled this with the coffee ice cream that I made earlier in the day. And I just scooped the ice cream in the mold, and then I just took a spoon and I made sure that the center was hollow, and I just kind of went around the center. And if your ice cream is a little bit soft when you're doing this, just refreeze it and then go and just kind of clean it up a little bit. And what's nice about these sphere molds is they fit perfectly in a cupcake pan. This is just a cupcake tin with a towel over it, and then the spheres sit in here perfectly. And like I said, you can easily do this in a small bowl in a larger size, and then you can cut it, and it's a really nice presentation, impressive when you cut it. So I have my centers hollowed out, and I'm just going to fill them with my rum mousse. Looks good already, doesn't it? And then this is going to go back in the freezer. And with these small ones, it takes about a good maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. But if you're making a bigger one, give yourself a little bit of time. And I would recommend, too, leaving it sit overnight. So these are going to go back in the freezer, and then they'll be ready to serve. The question is, where do you buy the molds? These sphere molds I bought at Sur La Table because there's a store right down the street from here, and that's where I usually go. And Sur La Table is nice because you can buy things online. These are really nice. I've had them for a long time. I had a set of 5, and then I bought another set of 5. And what's nice about these open stock items at these cooking stores, you can buy a few at a time. You don't have to invest a lot of money into a full set at once. Just buy a few, and then you can buy a few at another later time. And I like these a lot. I like this size. I use them a lot. They're good for Bavarians too, or other mousses that you're going to be molding. So I've got these bombes that I made earlier, and they're completely set up. The center is nice and frozen. So I'm just going to unmold these.
What are the molds made out of?
The question is, what are the molds made out of? These are a stainless steel mold. They're very strong. They're going to hold up. It's a great investment if you're interested in doing something like this. I would invest in these molds. Like I said, if there's not a store near your house, you can order them online. And Sur La Table does give a student discount, so be sure to mention that you're a student. And if they need any information from us, just give us a call. We can send it to you. So it's nice they give you a little discount. And there's so many things in that store, you're just going to love it. So to unmold the bombe, you just kind of put it in a little bit of warm water and let it release on its own. The ice cream's going to melt a little bit. And when I'm serving my bombes or ice cream desserts, I always put just a little bit of cake or even some cookie crumbs on the bottom. And this way, when I put it on my plate, it's not going to slide all over the place. So it's really whatever you have. I had some yellow sponge cake that I just kind of crumbled up, and you can easily use some cookies that you might have. But put a little something on the bottom that's going to make it not so slippery.
What size are the sphere molds you are using right now?
The question is, what size is the mold? I think this is a 2 1/4 inch mold, and I believe that this is the only size sphere mold that Sur La Table carries. But if you can't find it and you have any questions, you can email me at bp.mentors@escoffier.online. And please also, if you make bombes or if you make the Bombe Ceylan, let me know how it turns out. I want to hear. I'm really interested. I'm interested to hear if you make your own creative bombe. And send me some pictures. Let me know what you're doing. I'd love to see them. So I've got a little bit of cake on my bombe. And I'm just going to be dropping this in some warm water. And it's just going to release the bombe. My water got a little bit cool while I was talking, so be mindful if your water is really warm, don't leave your ice cream in there too long. It's going to melt on you. So this is perfectly released. And I've got a plate handy. I'm going to put it right on my plate. If you're serving these for guests, you're going to want to serve them right away. Or you can also unmold them and put them on a pan and put them in your freezer, and then they'll be ready to go on plates. So I'm just going to be wiping off some of my drips, and the bombe is perfectly smooth. See how beautiful it is? It's so impressive. And this dessert in particular was made by a very famous chef recently. His name is Grant Anchez, and he's a very well-known chef in Chicago and throughout the country. And he opened his restaurant, and he named it Next. And their opening menu was an Escoffier menu, and he served Bombe Ceylan. So classic, elegant dessert, really, really beautiful. So to finish the Bombe Ceylan, I'm just going to top this with a little bit of whipped cream and a little bit on the side. And maybe some raspberries on top. I don't want to use anything too big though. These raspberries are so nice today. They're huge. Grab a couple that aren't too big. Maybe we'll put a few raspberries on top. And when I'm serving something creamy like this, I always like to put something crunchy on it, like maybe a cookie. I made some little shortbread cookies earlier. Just kind of stick that on the bombe. And next we're just going to put a little bit of caramel sauce or whichever sauce that you like.
Can you cut one in half so they can see what it looks like on the inside?
Sure, I'd love to. I'm going to be cutting one in half so you can see what it looks like. And Seth, can you grab me a knife? Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to be dipping this in the water again. Kind of release it. And they are so impressive looking. You'll be sure to dazzle your friends and family when you revamp your dessert menu and you include a bombe or even the Bombe Ceylan. the beautiful dessert. Thank you. Oh. And I'm just going to put it here, and we're going to cut it in half so you can check it out. And if you have any questions, please ask them at this time because we're getting ready to wrap up for today. And this is the center of the Bombe Ceylan.
Can you stack them and make a ball?
The question is,
Can you stack two of them and make a ball?
the question is, can you stack two and make a ball? You can. I think that would be really cute. It would be an impressive dessert, and it would be a nice dessert for two because it's a little bit larger. And yes, why not? Let your imagination go wild with the bombs, and you can see the mousse in the center and the ice cream on the outside. So the bombe is really just an ice cream lined mold filled with the flavored mousse. So check out Escaffier's book for those 60 different flavors. And thanks for joining me today at Escaffier Online, and I'll be seeing you next week.